$50,000 made in 7 days from one client, and I'm gonna show you everything from the outreach, the sales calls and onboarding, the deep funnel and analysis work that I did, including the copy produced plus our promo strategy and the end result. Now, I may have already ruined it because I've said 50,000 in 7 days, but if you see at the end of the video, you'll know exactly how I did this and how you can do this too. So just before I start, as per usual, if you could follow me on IG, trying to hit 1K before the end of the year. Bit of a stretch now, but I believe we can do it. Also, if you want to learn how to do this, I do have one-to-one coaching, so apply below for that. And if you want access to any free resources, any feedback from me, and if you just want free weekly coaching calls or copy reviews by an actual writer, not these so-called gurus and grifters who've never made money in their life, join the Discord below. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So, outreach, first part. Quite essentially, it's the message, or it's the strategy that I taught in this video, where we personalize it, make them aware of a problem, and then offer a simple solution, which is a Loom video, which then follows and snowballs onto a sales call, but this video explains it all. So, if I delete this, if it wants to delete, okay. Here's the screenshots of the chat. So, pro tip, which I don't tell a lot of people, sending a voice note of the initial DM is more likely to get them to open. So, I used the opener and sent it as a voice note. Now, the opener that I used is available for purchase with the outreach scripts that I sold in this video. There's a link in the description to actually buy the openers that I use. So I used one of those and I did get a prompt back. I'm not going to explain what it was, but yeah, I got a message back, and then I go straight into making him problem aware, which is this part here, where I noticed he had a Candy link going straight to his one-to-one office mentorship, but there was no friction, there was no question answering. It was just straight going to a call, and I knew he must be doing something wrong or he's making no money. So got a reply back, said sure thing, and I sent the Loom video right here. And then it was a couple days, or no, a day afterwards, where he said, found that video helpful, can I get the free audit? And I sent him the booking link. It's really as simple as that. I do see a lot of people overcomplicate this and say, what messages do I send? How to do the Loom video? Just send it, just make the mistakes. I mean, you can use this as a reference here. There's not really much to it. It's initial, get the reply, send the problem. If your problem is actually, or if your problem that you're making them aware of is a big problem, you should get a reply back. And then the Loom video is basically the same strategy I teach in this one. So we'll go towards the sales call and onboarding. So like I said here, unfortunately the call was not recorded because I did not think I would be making a video about this, but I'll explain how it all went. First part, so the free audit / sales call. Intro / small talk. So this is really important. This is just to break the ice and to set the stage of the call. It also introduces your type of vibe and energy you bring. This part is really essential because if you go with or if you come with an energy where you're quite shy and timid and not very open, it kind of ruins the call for the following stage. So I'd say this part's really important in being really positive, being like asking a lot of questions, getting to know them. Once that's out the way, it's only about a minute or two you spend on this. So once it's out the way, then we get to the funnel analysis and comparison. So in the free audit, we would have made them aware of a problem and showed them a solution. Now, how we do this is comparing whatever part of their funnel or copy to someone that's already successful, just so they can see the differences and how much they're losing out. This goes on quite detailed. We're being as detailed as possible. I know in the outreach video I say to be vague with the messages, but in the free call, we want to be as detailed as possible because we want to build that trust with them to let them know, like, we know what we're talking about. We want to establish that authority and get them to trust us. Once we move from this stage, I start asking questions. And these are, I put questions I should have put. specific questions. These questions that I ask are more related to his business and his needs and what he's struggling with. So there'll be open-ended questions where I'm prompting him to get more of an answer, not yes or no questions like, are you getting sales calls per day? Are you struggling with marketing? They all tend to have no questions, yes or no answers, which is quite hard to work off of. But if you ask questions such as, what's the biggest problem you're currently facing with your funnel or your offer right now, they tend to ramble on and tell you all their issues. Sometimes they go into even further issues you didn't even discover or didn't even think about. Once we move on from this section, it's more selling myself as a solution. So the whole point of this question part here is to kind of understand their problems and morph ourselves into being the solution, like being their dream answer. So if, for example, if they've said, I'm struggling to find more conversions in my sales page or whatever, you can then say, well, I'm actually really good at writing sales pages. I've helped with this conversions, that conversions. I've done it for this client. You're kind of just selling yourself as the solution. But this is important why we ask the questions first, because we need to understand what mind frame and what problems they have. We can't really sell them on a solution to a problem they don't have, After that, I moved on to some examples of client work. Now, I know a lot of people can't do this, which is why the funnel analysis in person is really important on building that trust and authority. But I showed client examples because I can. If you are able to do this, I highly recommend you do. And then from there, he was quite sold. There was no objections. There was no, let me think about it. He was quite sold on the call, which is quite rare for me. Normally, it's I'll think about it and we'll have another call where I go on to basically do more of the questioning and selling myself as a solution. But in this case, he was sold and it was onto the onboarding process, which was here. So we agreed on payment and terms on the call. He did ask initially what the price was, and I said, it's depending on what your needs are, blah, blah, blah. After we discussed that, he was more than happy to go. I think we agreed on 1,500 plus a 30% revenue share, which is quite high. Normally I say 30 just to get the number out, then aim towards 20 to 15, but he was okay with 30, so I did not argue with that. Put the contract in, sent that over. Once I got the confirmation, work started. So in the contract, it would have the specifics of what I'll be doing, what the revenue share percentage and splits are. It's not really hard. You can just get ChatGPT to make it, or if you know a lawyer in real life to draft you out one, that's what you can do. But it's pretty simple. You just have your name, their name, date of start work, what works are required, what the payment is, agreed payments and ongoing payments, and a termination of notice as well. GPT can do all this for you. And we move on to the next part, which is my little checklist. So use DocuSign, the online form, to get the contract signed and agreed. There are other ones as well, but I only use DocuSign because that's the only one I know. Receive the payment on Stripe, so you can see 1,500 here. It's not monthly, it's a one-time payment, so you can ignore this. It was then added to a private Discord where I work with a lot of my clients where they can see all the automations and updates. And yeah, once all these threes were done, we started on work, which is like all of this stuff, which I'll get to. So the first part is the market research and competition analysis. It's quite detailed, so pay attention. First of all, I haven't included it in this text, I don't think so, but I would have sent him a document to fill out any market research for me, like what he thinks his clients' pains or his ideal customers' pain points, dreams, all that stuff is for. And I've also asked him if he had any recorded sales calls from his mentorship that I could review just to see if there's anything else I can find. Sales calls are really good to actually review because you actually get an unfiltered dive into their brain of what the ideal customer wants to see, what their pains are, what their desires are, and identifying typical buying patterns and language that buyers actually use. We can also get a frame of the exact words they use. So you may have seen this in some offers. If you read offers and you read the copy, sometimes it feels like you're reading they're reading your mind. It normally comes from this. Would normally take exact phrases or paraphrases of sentences that already people who have bought the mentorship use, and we use that to sell to other people because we know that's the language they use and that's like their not hidden desires, their dream outcome and desires on winning or whatever their outcome is for the mentorship or course. And also we can refine the message to match what they actually care about. So a lot of people like to make a product. I think that's what the market wants, but the market determines what they want. So the more we know what the market wants, the better we can morph our message and our product to suit the need. Second part, funnel and copy analysis. So instead of reinventing the wheel and trying to do our own thing and seeing if it works, we will already go, or I personally will go and see what is already working in the niche that we're in. So I'd find 4 or 5 of the biggest creators in that niche, go down their funnel, see what they're using, see what works, see what doesn't work. If it's working, we might as well use it. I'd say it's a big risk trying to come up with something new, because not only are we wasting time, we're wasting money and resources that could have been used in other places. So we already see what's working and we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Famous quote, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It also helps us find angles and hooks clearly in finding, well, Braveheart, helps us find hooks and promises that the market is clearly responding to. So when it comes to content creation or copy ideas, seeing the different angles and hooks that other people are using, we can then implement it to our offer. And also by seeing the competition and seeing what they're doing, we can also find opportunities to differentiate ourselves, right? We don't want to be seen as the cheap version of so-and-so's mentorship or the bad version of this course. So we want to differentiate ourselves but not appear as like the worst or an alternative bad version. Then the deep market research. So we use AI for this part. So instead of me and other people just scrolling the internet for God knows how many hours to pull these insights, we can actually use AI and the deep market research. I forgot the option's called, but I think it's deep research plus online something. I forgot what it's called on Claude, but it's the option we use to actually have it scour the internet to find exactly what we're looking for. Yeah, it will go through tons of posts, reviews, forums, everything that we would normally do, but at a faster rate and more efficient rate than we can. Can also validate assumptions with data instead of delusion. Look at my word here. So if we assume the market wants one thing and the research shows it, then we can use that in our marketing and our copy and everything. But if we assume a market's heading in one direction and the data tells us another, then we can easily avoid it. Also the language and tone. Different markets respond differently to different levels of language and tone. Some respond quite well to aggressive tones, while some respond less well to aggressive tones and more towards positive, reaffirming tones. So just finding that too across the market research is really key. Also, we can spot patterns in desires and fears and buying triggers that otherwise may have been missed. But what I mean by this is we could probably find certain habits or certain dreams where a lot of people might cater to one mentorship and sway away from the other. Because we might see that a lot of people might be interested in just making 5 to 10k, but might be veering away from anything higher than that. So a lot of deep research and AI can help us find this. Now, deep funnel and analysis on market research. Well, the market research is covered. I don't want to put that twice. So this is what my client's funnel initially looked like. Now it looks a bit confusing to the untrained eye, but essentially he was getting views from Instagram and promoting it to his YouTube. From his YouTube, he was promoting a free Telegram where he was putting trading signals and also promoting a book a call for one-to-one, and also upselling a paid Discord community where there's more trading signals and other perks as well, which is alright. There's definitely gaps in it. So he had a channel over 18k subs where he was uploading daily videos and tutorials. So in our little funnel change, I'm not going to change that because it was value led, and this is how I discovered him and saw that he had potential. In his Instagram, he had over 10k followers. Upon seeing that, it was, I think once we hopped on the sales call, and one of the questions was asking him, how are you using Instagram to promote everything? He said, no, I'm not using it to promote. Normally if I'm doing a YouTube video or whatever, I'll put like a story, but he was averaging around 4 to 6k story views, which is really high. So the fix for that is we're gonna now start putting story sequences to promote videos and his one-to-one mentorship. His Telegram had over 3k subs. I think it's higher now, but at the time it was 3k subs, where he was giving out free trading signals, and he was getting over 50% message view rate. Now this is important because he didn't have an email list. So what my thinking was is we are going to use his Telegram as sort of the email substitute while we build a list. And even though a lot of his, how do I say it, his audience is mainly Gen Z, and as a Gen Z myself, and probably a lot of you that are going to be seeing this, we don't tend to use our emails a lot. So I didn't really see it as a problem. And seeing that the 3k subs and 50% message rate, I saw it as another venue of as email. And I know a lot of us like to open up our apps and view messages rather than viewing emails. So we are going to use emails to build in the background, but we substitute that for his Telegram. So we're now going to start using his Telegram to promote one-to-ones, the paid Discord plus value, and I think to add wins as well to promote more trustability and get people to push in. This is an important one, Typeform. So one of the problems he had a lot was he was getting a lot of calls where either people weren't showing up or they were showing up but they couldn't afford his mentorship. So what we did was we added a Typeform to disqualify or qualify people before they went into the mentor or before they went into the call, just to save time for him to not sit there and wait for someone to not turn up on call, or to realize they can't afford it and just completely waste 30 minutes of his time. So we added a bunch of questions, and we added one qualifying and disqualifying questions. I can't really pull the back end of it, but it was, if you could afford it and you said you could afford it, you would be granted access to book a call. If you could not afford the mentorship or whatever, you would then put into a thank you page, which would then promote his Telegram and his paid Discord as well as his YouTube. And also, he didn't have any lead magnets or anything to guide people into promoting more of his paid community or Discord. So we came up with the idea, or I came up with the idea, of having to script and record a free training VSL. I saw a lot of people in his niche that had free training guides which were disguised as VSLs to push you towards one-to-one or paid communities. So we sat down, came up with the idea, had it presented it to my client, and he liked the idea, so we implemented that, and a website would have been built into that too. So free training to provide value and capture info. This was also to help, these two here were also to help build the email list for the future. Next part, if it wants to break. Here we go. So the updated funnel would have Instagram to the YouTube and Telegram. So he would post lifestyle content plus wins from the free Telegram for if any people won from the free trade. Promote that here, promote the Telegram, which would then also push towards the YouTube. So that Instagram would, every time he uploaded, or every day he uploaded, he'd put a story saying, guys, new video. From the YouTube, we put a link in the description to push towards a free training, which would then either send you to a Typeform. I should probably put that too. That's really unprofessional of me. The YouTube also had a link towards the Typeform for one-to-one coaching, and also the Telegram would promote the Discord. Typeform here says it again. If they qualified, they were pushed towards the one-to-one to book the call. If they weren't qualified, they were pushed towards the promotion of the Discord server, and people inside the Discord server were then further nurtured and pushed towards one-to-one. That was the new updated funnel. This part is the future updates. So I noticed I think by now that I've recorded it, we have a DM setter in place, but he had a lot of messages on Instagram regarding his paid course in one-to-one. So instead of him sitting in his DMs all day, we've now hired a DM setter to deal with this, where it'll ask their name, question, what are your goals, push you towards either here or here, depending on your answers. And as I mentioned before, free trading would then help build an email list, which would then help us promote either the one-to-one, paid Discord, or the YouTube. A sales call closer would also be implemented later on. I'm pretty sure he's doing all the calls at the moment, but when he gets to the point where he can't handle it anymore and we're getting too many leads, a call closer will be implemented to take that burden off him. So, next part, copy produced for the offer. First part is the IG story sequences. So, because he had high engagement, he wanted to leverage this. They're pretty simple. I've done a video on this before. I also sent him my SOP on how to do it. I would write these for him, but they're pretty simple, and it's just one of those things where it doesn't take a genius to do this. So this guide here helps him do this. The next is the free training VSL script. Now, I could put the whole script here, but it would just take up loads of space and loads of time. So what I've done is just showed you the different segments. So we have the intro and hook to actually get the ICP to get hooked in. We build authority. We dig into their problems that we found in the market research, and we also then sell the dream, what their dream life is, what their dream outcome is, what they want to hit, the life they want. We then introduced the unique mechanism, which was my client's trading method. I'm not going to expose what it is. The how it works was the free trading, so he would explain how it works. In like step 1 you do this, step 2 you do this. We're using this on foolproof method. We show proof of the method working for other students. We also include a risk reversal, so it sounds like a no-brainer for the client or for the potential customer to buy into his mentorship. And we had a CTA sprinkled with a lot of urgency, which are going to fit in there. Next was building out the free training and Telegram landing page. Not Telegram, Discord landing. Let's just say Discord. I'm being so professional. Anyways, so we had the headline, call out the ICP with the dream outcome driven headline. That's the angle I decided to go to upon reviewing the other creators in his niche that were doing really well. Better the VSL into the website, better the type form to help with the qualifying disqualification, and then we had his current and previous students record videos of them saying how good the program was. Before he had text-based testimonials, but I've asked him if he could get video-based ones because it just adds on to that trust. Also included screenshots of the wins. So here's the example. Unlock the strategy that made me 7 figures, blah, blah, blah. This is all dream outcome driven. They've got the VSL here. I think it's just showing the method part, unique mechanism, or the proof. This was the second page that we made for the paid Discord. So we got the how to, what you do, select the plan, confirm payment, access premium. Got the reviews, and we've got more client reviews here, and follow the plan here. Just made it very easy and simple for them. So the strategy that we used to promote. So for Instagram, 1 story sequence per month. We don't want to go any more than that. I'd say the only time we would add another story sequence is if we're promoting another big launch, or if we're doing like a really huge sale. I did ask him to start implementing daily wins from his free and paid group just to build on that trust. And I also asked him to just post general lifestyle content of his life, the really cool shit that he does, just so it gets people more hooked and more willing to go down his funnel. The YouTube strategy, built the same. So he's doing daily trading sessions where he's uploading his sessions, wins and losses. Mainly winning, but you get the idea. No change there. And for the planned future, we have middle funnel, bottom of funnel content. So this would include another free course that he's going to upload, a long one, how-to guides and student interviews from his one-to-one mentorship program to again help build that proof and that authority. His Telegram, buy daily free trades. Now he doesn't have a set date, but does it every other day where he'll post a free trade for people to copy. I've also asked them to start posting wins from the one-to-one program and paid group, just to build again that trust and pushing people towards the next part of the buying stage, and also promoting the YouTube paid group and one-to-one. Discord is more or less the same, but instead we're just posting wins from the one-to-one and promoting his YouTube and one-to-one. Here are all the future planned implementations. So the DM set I'm pretty sure we have unlocked now, but we will have a closer soon once the client cannot take any more calls. Email marketing will be introduced once we've built our list, and future funnel analysis to address bottlenecks. So right now there isn't as much bottleneck. Well, there isn't really a huge bottleneck at the moment, but we've only been running it for like a week and a half. I'd say once we get to around 2 months, I'll go back in, analyze all the data, see where we can improve and make changes accordingly. So the results after 1 week of implementing the changes: 50,000 in 7 days. I think this balance was from before that was available, and 64 from the last 28. So just from my onboarding and changes, we made 50,000. Before that, he was on about 14,000. Total earnings, I think that's for the month, is 83, or lifetime. I can't remember what the dashboard said. But I think the course is not the course. The mentorship's about 4K, and there's a 4% fee, transaction fee. But this is not included in the private Discord. I think the private Discord also boosted in sales, but I can't really confirm that just yet because I didn't have access to the dashboard. But 50,000 after implementing everything here that I've just talked about, which is just insane. Honestly, 30% too. It's a big payday for me. But yeah, goes to show you how good funnel and good copy can really impact someone. He wasn't hitting these numbers before. I'd say he was hitting around the 15 to 20k mark, and I've just come in, given him a new strategy, and now we've hit 50k in 7 days. Definitely want to work more closely and try and hit 100k. This would be my my second 100k client. I'd be an interesting video if I can do that. So that now brings me towards the end of the video. If you do want to learn how to do all of this, I've got a one-to-one coaching mentorship thingy below. The link is below to apply to it. Just fill out the form, and if you're successful, we'll hop on a call or get to know you more to see if you're suited for the program first of all. Because I don't take anyone. I want to make sure the people I work with are going to do the work and get the results. And if you want access to free resources, personal feedback from me, I do free weekly coaching. For those who have been in there and have seen my coaching, can probably vouch for you. I'm probably the best coach when it comes to actually reviewing stuff and giving you advice. I'm not like these other guys who you pay thousands to and they don't even answer your question. My copy review and my coaching is very thorough, very detailed, and I want you guys to win. I've got an MP Academy, which is more weekly coaching and more copy reviews, but you get more access towards me. The free guys only get 1 day or a couple hours a week where I can actually answer their calls, but the guys inside MP Academy can message me anytime, get access to all my templates and resources that I use with my clients and seeing results. Some guys in the academy have already started winning, and I've only been doing this for like a couple of weeks, so that is amazing to see. Cheaper than Netflix. I'm trying to make it as accessible to everyone, but then again, I've got to put a paywall on there because I don't want to give away all my resources. So that should be the end of the video. If you stayed this far, you're a legend. Yeah, I'm so awkward at doing the fucking end of the videos. Should be a course coming out soon. Very high detail course, and I promise it will be the best thing out there, and you'll never need to pay anyone ever again. But see you guys in the next video. Join my weekly coaching. If you need to message me, I'm available on Instagram or Discord. And yeah, happy grinding.